Alright, do you want to know the secrets that pro players use in games that you probably don't? I'm going to tell you 5 secrets right now that pro players do in games that you might not be using in your games. These are things that you can be thinking about when you're playing the game and like different ways to approach the game. So I'm going to go straight into it and talk about pre-placed drones and flank drones. Like this is probably the first, like the first one on the list. You probably know about it already, but you probably might not be doing it as much as you should be, because flank drones are just a way to instantly mean that you can have an extra gun to push angles with, push sight with, because you don't have to have a gun holding the flank. In this topic, I want to first of all talk about leaving drones where you're going to enter. And the reason for this is so that you can have a teammate watch it when you want to enter. So I'm going to show you a bit of an example here. So let's say I want to enter this laundry here. Right, in the prep phase, I'm going to set up my drone so that it's like somewhere relatively hidden that I can still see on and hear on. So now I'll know if anybody comes in through memo into like dining down here, and I'll also hear anybody in kitchen as well. But what I can do with my teammates, I can go, right, okay, you hold my drone, I'm gonna go in through laundry, just hold my drone until I'm in there safely. So you get your teammate to hold your drone, and then you can come straight in and not have to worry about anything. You can come straight in. If I'm doing this, I'm holding the kitchen now, because I have like visible info on memo, but I don't have visible info on kitchen. It's just sound info, and you know what it sounds like. So I'm gonna go straight in. I'm gonna check the corners and stuff. But I'm basically in already, and this can be done within 10 seconds. You can get into the way you want to get in. And with the current like swing or be swung meta, it's like even just getting into the building sometimes can be hard. So like just set up a drone where you want to enter and get your teammates to go on it. This is great as well if you're an entry player, because obviously you're supposed to be taking map control pretty quickly. So if you get your teammates to put a drone somewhere, and then they can, if it's your teammates drone, they can just drone you in as you get in as well. So like now they can start droning me up Astro stairs, maybe if I want to try and push up Astro for something like that, just an example. Now to do with flank drones, if it depends kind of on the roles of your stack. If you're playing with a 5 stack that have like set roles and you're trying to sort of like get champion and stuff, you'll want your frag players to play the flank drones, to put the flank drones up. So I'm gonna show you a bit, like just a quick one for red here. Alright, so the most important thing when it comes to flank drones is to make sure you have somebody watching them. Like it sounds self-explanatory, like, oh yeah, I probably should watch the drone, but so many times in ranked I go for flanks and there's just nobody sitting on the flank drones. Oh nice, I missed the drop. Lovely stuff. There's so many times in ranked where I just go for flanks and like they're not even being held, like there might be a drone there but it's just not being watched or anything. So just if you're putting flank drones, make sure you watch them. And another thing you can do as well, I think I mentioned this in another video, but make sure you people that aren't putting flank drones, pick them up. So now I can have a flank drone for Astro stairs and then flick straight to a flank drone for red stairs. Like I can have both these flank drones and just keep flicking them 1 and 2. But if there's drones in between, like if your other teammates have drones in between, then if they pick them up, they'll go like stop being in between, so then you can go straight 1 and 2, rather than having to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out finally. So that's just a little thing. That was a pretty quick one because like you probably already know about flank drones. It's just a reminder to make sure that you're setting them up and make sure you're using them, and make sure you're like putting drones where you want to enter. Basically, you should never go through a room that hasn't been drawn first, unless there's like not enough time or you're going for like a lurk play or something. But for the most part, you should never be face checking things. You should have full info on room before you go in, or you should be fully prepared to go in like with and know what you need to look at. Like if I'm going in here, I know this room is drawn, but I don't know study's drawn. I'm going in looking at study. I might check if there's holes here, and I'm going to look at study again. Like I'm not coming in trying to clear angles that have already been drawn out, if that makes sense. So just make sure you're like looking at your drone usage. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is called phantom pressure. And this essentially is making pressure to where the enemies will think you're coming from somewhere when you're not. If that makes sense. Like it's sort of like basically giving the defenders more things to worry about if you're in attack, or on defense if you're giving the attackers more things to worry about, even if you're not planning on pushing it. So I'll give you an example as an attacker. If you're an attacker and you want to like on clubhouse gym attack, if you come outside here, don't open this window, but if you open up all of these windows, now they have to be worried of every single one of these windows getting pushed from somebody. Like, obviously you don't want to open them like this. I'm just like, there's nobody else in the custom game to kill it, so I'm not worried about that. But if you open every single one of these windows, they're not going to feel safe to walk around site. They can't walk around gym, they can't really walk around master, and they can't really walk around construction without being worried about the window. So if you open the windows, start pinging some shots, and then you can even just leave and like just have the pressure of being on the windows, like just having the windows open to have the pressure on it. they're going to feel not safe to walk around site. That's basically phantom pressure in a nutshell. Now, another way you can do this on defense is where, like, let's say you're defending the basement on Clubhouse. You come around with a shotgun, like you play like Oryx or something, or Alibi, and you open up all of these hatches. All of the hatches upstairs, even if you're not going to play top floor. If I'm playing with my stack and I see that the top floor hatches are open, or I see somebody running around upstairs in the prep phase, I'm saying to my stack, right, we need to clear top down because we can't let this roamer come and get her in the back. So at that point, you've done your job. If you open up all these hatches and even just go back to site, even just to have the phantom pressure of someone potentially being upstairs. Like, and then you can, if you want to, you can use them later on. Like, it's not like you open them and then just leave them. You can't even just use them later on. If you come up, you can come up blue or something and then go top floor and then stop playing the hatches. But even if you don't do that, it's still creating phantom pressure. This is a great tactic to waste time as well. Phantom pressure means that if you're a defender and you're like trying to use phantom pressure, it means that the attackers are going to have to go slower because, like I said, if they're having to clear the whole top floor, then the whole bar and middle floor, and then the whole first floor to go under the basement site, it's not easy to do that in 3 minutes, especially if you're being a nuisance on the roam, like doing loads of stuff, making loads of holes, shooting loads of things, like opening just random holes that you're not even going to use. But if I'm an attacker and I see a hole in the wall, I'm thinking there's a hole there for a reason. Somebody might be using this thing in some way. So like just making even just random little holes that you're not even going to use, but they have to worry about them because you could potentially use them, if that makes sense.
Bomb locations are
Alright, so now the third thing I want to talk about is communication. You're probably thinking, oh well, I talk to my teammates, I give callouts, I give info. That's not the same thing. Communication, that is communication, but it's not the level of communication you need to be able to reach the top level. Communication in the highest level of Siege is a lot more than just saying, there's one guy over there, there's one guy on ping, there's one guy in Geisha. Like, it's not. In the highest level, you need a level of teamwork, and that comes from communication. So you need to. There's a sort of term that one of my old teammates used to call micro plays. You need to create micro plays with your teammates to be able to win rounds. Now, these are not things like these little micro plays are not just things that will instantly win you a round, but it's things that will give you an advantage in the round. So let's say a micro play could be somebody's on this service door. I'm gonna ping some shots to distract them while my teammate runs out a lobby double door. That's a micro play that you've organised with your teammate. You'll tell your teammate that's roaming, they're like, yo, come lobby, tell me when you're ready. Okay, he's ready now, he's in lobby. Right, I'm gonna ping some shots. You just run out of the lobby double door while he's distracted by my sound and my like shooting at him. And then he runs out, gets the kill. There's a trade. Not a trade, it's just a 1-for-0 kill, like a freebie. Like the little micro plays like that will give you an advantage in the round, and then after that you can tighten up and play more like together and like cohesive on site. Micro plays are like the sort of communication and teamwork is one of the sort of biggest like determining factors between good teams and bad teams, because good players are good players, but a good team is just going to shred on good players at every given opportunity. Like good teamwork, like you don't even have to be good at the game, as long as you're like being a good team player with your teammates. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad at the game. You could aim like a complete robot, but if you're organising a micro play that creates a 2v1 situation where you can win a 2v1, which is pretty easy to win a 2v1, right? If you can create these micro plays, you can just win out gunfights that you probably shouldn't, and win like situations where you probably shouldn't. Like the good thing about doing these micro plays as well is like you get a worst case scenario, you get a trade. Like if let's say you and your teammate are planning on double running out. There's one guy sort of, I don't know, he's outside by Lambo or something. Your teammate wants to run out main door and you run out service. Okay, we'll run out. He's killed your teammate at main door, but you've just got the trade there. That's what I mean. Like creating these 2-for-1s create like a worst case scenario as you get a trade, which is even if not better for it. If you're a defender, it's better, probably better, because there's one less set of attacker utility, if that makes sense. The fourth thing I want to talk about in this video is map control. This is a really big thing, like having good map control and having control of the map and the environment that you're playing in. I don't mean like if you're defending kitchen, you don't need to hold the whole of the map. You don't need to like have 3 people in aqua holding aqua. You don't need to do stuff like that. You need to hold areas that are relevant to your site. So you need to hold areas that are commonly pushed by attackers. You need to hold areas that are commonly sort of like traversed through, maybe. Like basically, if I'm defending kitchen I'm worried about holding upstairs, or I'm worried about holding sunrise and blue bar side, or I'm worried about trying to hold lobby maybe as well. Like, you don't have to hold all of it, but it's kind of like depending on the strategy that you want to run. Like, you can run a heavy vertical strat where you want to hold above and make some vertical holes that you can look down through, or you could run a heavy like horizontal strat where you try and hold basically the whole of the first floor and then play for a retake on the top floor, which I'm going to discuss a little bit in a minute. But it also comes down to attacking as well. If you're attacking in the round and you're trying to sort of, well, let's say you want to attack vertically. You want to take VIP and penthouse control. Right, okay, let's do that. But I also don't want to like take too much map control, so I'm just gonna sit in VIP and play some vertical. If you're only playing in VIP, they have the whole of penthouse. They can shoot you through this wall. They have the whole of 90. They can play 90 and push like down the white hallway here and try and get you from like through that wall. They can play like be playing in hookah or billiards and get you from this wall. They can you're basically trapped in one room and they can get you from everywhere. Or if you're trying to just push straight sight every time, they can hold like angles like this maybe. If you're trying to push straight sight, they can just be sitting holding angles like this that you don't have time to like drawn out. And now you can't run in through service or you're just dead. Like, that's why you need to start thinking about taking map control. And like thinking about what you need for what you want to do. So let's say you want to go for a kitchen window plant. To get a kitchen window plant in kitchen here, you don't need a lot of map control. All you need is like to think about who can stop you on this kitchen window plant. So realistically, who can stop you on this kitchen window? If you come out the window, you'll see that, well, I can maybe get killed from sauna. So I'll probably have to secure sauna. I'll probably have to make sure sauna's okay and like sunrise is okay. But you don't even need to take sunrise for that. All you need to do is just go in here, set like a Noma there or a gridlock here, so that they can't peek you through the window. Now you're not like as worried about that. Or you can just set a gun to hold it, so that like you don't have to worry about that. Now, what else can I have to worry about? If I'm trying to plant in kitchen, well, the whole thing is destructible vertically. So if they're holding vertical, they can just shoot down on me and kill me from the roof. Okay. So now we'll probably need to breach the VIP wall. Okay, we'll go breach the VIP wall with teammates. We'll repel up and breach it. Now, we've breached the wall. They can't play on the holes and vertically. They can't stop us vertically. Now, what do we need to worry about? Okay, courtyard. Okay, somebody go on the roof and walk courtyard. So, I mean, you need to think about... Obviously, there's a lot of things that go into cover and stuff like that. But you need to think about who can sort of kill you from where you want to... Like, and stop you from what you want to do. And that, like... And then, what map control do you need to take to stop that, basically? To make it so that they can't do that. Another part of map control is retaking map control. Like, as a defender, it's impossible to hold the full map. So, obviously, there's probably 3 different ways that people want to push this kitchen site. And like 3 different ways that you can extend to hold it. So you can extend lobby side, or you can extend sunrise and blue bar side, or you can extend vertically. Now, generally, if you're not, if they push away that you're not extending, then it comes to the point where, well, you're just being useless in another part of the map. So at that point, you want to probably maybe take a retake strat, which means you want to try and regain the map control that you didn't have or you lost. So to do this, the way that like I would do it for the taking vertically is to maybe go for like a 2 or 3 man flank even. So you can have like somebody run up the lobby stairs while you run up cool vibes here, and then try and get like a pinch on whoever's trying to hold the flank on 90. And then at that point you've got the 90 control. Now you're starting to push the vertical, and now you're trying to retake the map control. And all of a sudden, if you get this map control back and you take this top floor, it's back in your favour. You've got their vertical holes that their bucks just spent ages making, or their rams just spent ages making. You've got all these vertical holes that you can use if they take sight while you're doing this. That it makes it like so much easier, and like makes the round winnable again. Now you can also kind of do this like, you can do this as a strat as well. Like you can play retake strategies, which means that, right, if you're going to give up vertical control, you know they're going to play vertically and you're going to give it up. That means you need to place somebody on site that's not in like range of these vertical holes, like not visible from the vertical holes. So that means on site you need to play areas that are safe from above, which I'll show you a couple now. So one area you can play is like over this way, like sunrise side. Obviously you care service side, sorry, and you obviously need to care for the service door, but you can't be vertically killed from here. Because this is not destructible and this is not destructible, but this is. But like you just basically, and you can also extend out into the lobby and play from lobby and stuff as well. This is vertical, but they're not really going to like get you vertically from here. And then you can sort of like just open up the walls and that so they can't come in. And then you can hold this from lobby. And then you can have somebody hold kitchen jump in from courtyard or something. Like what I mean is basically playing off site, but where you can impact on the site. And then after a few minutes, after like maybe a minute and a half, once they're making the vertical holes, they're gonna start like leaving above. Like they're gonna have people hold above and people just leave to come down and start getting the plant, like start trying to focus the plant. And at that time, before they start focusing the plant, you can start running up the cool vibes and the main stairs and go for a heavy flank and retake the top floor and then play vertically, like I mentioned before, if that makes sense. So like there's different kind of strategies you can use to use map control. You can get it early, you can hold it like aggressively, you can do an aggressive hold strat that like holds all of this. You can play like reinforce these walls and play in theatre so they can't take penthouse and like hold the map control, or you can retake the map control. Basically just think about how much of the map you need and what areas. If you want to be a good defender, you need to worry about what areas of the map a attacker needs to what they want to do, for what they want to do. So like you don't need to be running around an office if there's nobody there. You don't need to be running around, and you also don't need to run ahead first at them. But like if you know that they want to try and play vertically, well, do some stuff to stop them from playing vertically, basically. Now the fifth tip I want to give you is win conditions. I mean, the game as a whole comes down to winning or losing the round, right? So you want to make sure you find these ways to win the round. Generally in ranked, people will like play for frags to win the round. They'll play for kills. They'll try and just kill the whole 5 enemy players rather than like playing for the plant or playing for the defuse or playing like for map control or any of the other things I mentioned before. They want to play just to get all 5 kills so that they can have good stats and that they can like screenshot the result if they get a good game. But it's not really what you like. You're not going to consistently win games by playing for frags. There's always going to be someone that's better than you. There's always going to be someone that's got better aim than you. If you want to be consistent, you need to think about win conditions and what you can do to win rounds and win games consistently. Now, if you play with a 5-stack a lot, this is good for like going for like plants. If you can plant consistently, then you'll win games consistently, if that makes sense. Because it's easier to win from a plant as an attacker than it is to win from kills. Because the defenders can have so many crossfires on site. If you can just get a plant off consistently, then it's just so much easier to win games. Now, win conditions aren't just playing for plants though. It comes down as well to like doing things that will gain you an advantage in the round. Like, you'll realise maybe, okay, they're only playing one hard breacher. If I like kill the hard breacher early, if I know where he comes in from and kill him early, that's my win condition. They can't breach any walls now. Or it also means as well, if you bandit trick both the thermites on like a wall, like a consulate garage, if you bandit trick both the thermites, they need to change their whole plan of attack. Like their whole strategy has just gone in the bin, and that's your win condition. Now you just need to tighten up on site and just hold down the doorways that they need to come in from, and then you win the round. That's your win condition. Or dropping the diffuser, like killing the guy with the diffuser early in the round, is your win condition. That's how you win the rounds. It's not about just running around getting 5 kills and then going on to the next round and getting 5 kills again. It's about getting the win condition of the round to win the round consistently. Another example as well is, let's say you're planting on like a top floor cafe or something, and you know they've got a Solus. You probably like their Solus is their win condition. They will stop you from the plant with the Solus. They'll like find you and start floor banging you with the Solus. That's their win condition. So now you need to stop their win condition by like holding below when you go for the plant. So yeah, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video.